Hello, everyone. Welcome to Superhero with a Cane. This is podcast number 18. And once again, this podcast would not be possible if it was not for MS and their support. So, it's been several weeks. We're trying to figure this out because Sean and Shannon are back to school. Sean's back to school. So, we're doing this on a Saturday. Trying to make this work. So I want to talk about as you guys know. I mean, I'm living with primary progressive MS, which has been I've been the source of multiple re-diagnosis. Originally diagnosed with they thought I was secondary progressive, and then originally I thought I had Lyme disease, then secondary progressive, and then re-diagnosed again to primary progressive, which is means you get a constant barrage of symptoms. The the thing, and that's part of what I know. I remember looking at posts and reading about people that have talked about flare-ups, exacerbations, for example, and I never understood what that was because personally, I'm living with a steady dose of symptoms every day. Cognitive fatigue and physical. So I never really understood what that meant. But I'm, you have to learn to take the energy or the old you and try to make it into some purpose to keep you. You have to stay focused. And this past Monday, we had a MS for MS. We have a team meeting, and the meetings they could be every couple months. It depends on when there's an event coming up or something big that we have to talk about. It's Sam's in Maryland, and everybody's all over the U.S. So with the members of MS for MS, so we have these team meetings, and it always seems like I am texting Sam because I'm late in the day. The meetings happen. There's Zoom meetings, obviously. There's 20 people on the call. I'm a ambassador for MS, and I at that point in the day, whether it's 6 or 7 o'clock, I am done. I have my symptoms are the fatigue and the cognitive crap and the stuff is at its maximum. So I don't have a lot of ability to partake, which goes against everything I ever believed in, was taught. But so I think I usually end up texting Sam saying, I'm going to see if I can do it. I'll try. And then in the end, I end up doing it because I get on the meeting and I sit there and I listen. And ultimately, it's not until the following morning when I wake up and I actually have some energy and some cognitive ability that I can understand what was talked about. But I think that no matter where you're at with this disease, especially if you're in a progressive form of this disease and you're getting attacked every day, it's important to stay active and be involved. And I think that I've always believed that if you're not involved, if you're not active, then you don't get. And the result of the team meeting the other day, Michael Weiss did a tremendous presentation on there are corporate charities, corporate sponsorships out there, charity sponsorships. One is Kung Fu Panda. Another one is Krispy Kreme. But the one that really hit home for me is Chipotle, which you can Chipotle. There's a spot, and I'm going to rely on Sean O'Grady behind the camera and Shannon to help me with this. There's a thank God for Michael Weiss. He sent me the link the next day where we could go sign up. We fill out the information for MS, which is a 501c3 not-for-profit organization, and I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe the number was 33%. That might be a lot, and I might be wrong, but they'll donate if we get people to go to Chipotle in a certain location. They will donate that chunk of money to MS for MS if we do it right. So for me, it seems like a no-brainer. It seems like probably one of the easiest things that could be done to generate some money. And again, we're helping. At the end of the year, Sam gives a big check to Johns Hopkins, and the Project Restore, which is their Center for MS over there, and also there's people that benefit. We benefit. There's scooters. There's ramps. There's all sorts of things that are donated to help people. So anyway, I think that you have to figure out how to take parts of you, the old you, and incorporate it into the new you. Unfortunately, I'm limited with what I can do cognitively and fatigue and physically, and I have to really pay attention to my energy. But it is it's a fucking bitch when you used to be so active and so involved. And I'm gonna I used to run a sales. I used to run my own business. I also ran sales organizations, and I was a sales coach. And I used to have. I was very much into having a mission and purpose in life, and I still am. Unfortunately, how I went about having that mission and purpose and my day to day is very different. I would read, Tony Robbins. I was a big Stephen Covey fan. Jack Canfield, many people, Dale Carnegie, Johns Hopkins. I was Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins is the place we donate money to. I can't remember his name. Anyway, there's a bunch of books I used to read. And I used to have my own mission statement that I lived by. And my mission statement was to help others get what they want and need as it relates to a lifetime of love, happiness, and financial freedom. That was my mission statement, personal mission statement. I would live by that, whether it was helping with my own business, helping in my sales department, or helping with coaching. So help others get what they want and need as it relates to a lifetime of love, happiness, and financial freedom. Now, I can't do all that anymore, but I still believe that you have to be active, and you have to. It's tough because I with primary progressive MS, you can't really push yourself, and that's where the battle comes in. I'm constantly in a battle with the old guy. Listen, I'm not stupid. I've written 2 books. Before I wrote my book, Dad with MS, selling at the kitchen. Dad with MS, some superheroes out of Cape and Cade. I wrote another book, Selling at the Kitchen Table, A Contractor's Guide to Closing a Deal. So I've written 2 books in my life, and I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not stupid. Unfortunately, you feel pretty stupid sometimes because you can't communicate the way you used to, and you can't participate the way you used to, so you're kind of stuck. But the one thing that I believe happens is I'm a big believer in energy. And if you take steps, if you want to do something, if you have energy in here and in your heart, things will happen. So I'll back up and I'll say, all right, I got on that call Monday night and I listened. And yes, I could not participate, but guess what? The next day I realized there's something we could do. And I'm going to talk more with my son and my daughter about what we can do to get this this donation thing up and running with Chipotle. The other thing that happened is throughout the week, I got approached, and back when I'm currently in a clinical trial. When I was getting my infusion a couple weeks back, Dr. Ryerson, who's a terrific neurologist that works at Hackensack Meridian, is in charge of the clinical trial. She stopped in to talk to me, and we had a great conversation. And I talked about the adaptive swimming that I had done a month or so ago. That was I did it for my buddy Donnie, but also it's just to show people that you can still do something. I got on a friggin' surfboard and I went swimming. I went surfing, rather, not swimming. So we talked, and my wife Michelle made a reel, and it shows me surfing, and it shows what it was all about, and it just is something that I guess, talking isn't enough. You have to actually take action, and I was able to take action and do it. So I got a phone call from Dr. Ryerson the other day, and she wants me to be involved with Hackensack Meridian is doing interviews. They're doing promotion on their MS department, and they want me to be a focal point of that, where I'm going to be able to talk to people. I'm going to be able to be interviewed and tell my story. I'm going to be able to communicate that you could still have a life while living with primary progressive multiple sclerosis and still do stuff and get things done. And you don't have to sit on your ass and do nothing. And I'm sorry, but that's the thing that drives me friggin' nuts is some people get diagnosed, even if you get diagnosed with a worse form of this disease, you can still do something. Don't sit around and do nothing. And to wrap this up, this goes back to my mother. I don't talk about my mother a lot. My mother's paralyzed. She's been paralyzed since I was born. She's currently in a nursing home. My mother has extreme memory issues, some dementia. She might even have some early onset or Alzheimer's. And that goes back to after she had my brother Jim, they found a brain tumor. And the brain tumor caused her to have difficulty walking, and she was told you could not have more kids. Well, guess what? Her and my dad, they decided to. She decided to. And the stress of going through giving birth to me put her to a point where she had to have a major operation. They had to remove a chunk of her brain to get the brain tumor out. And it left her paralyzed and in pretty rough shape for the rest of her life. And my entire family had to step up to help. So the way I look at it is, I just spent my life working my ass off so that way our family would never be in a position to not have. And now I have primary progressive MS, which I didn't ask for. It was just thrown on me. But if my mother was willing to step up and have me, then I had to be willing to do things to help with people with their lives. Maybe it's not the mission I used to have, but it's participation, it's being involved, and it's a way to help others in this life. So I think that's it for today, and thank you.